The idea that discrimination against women and the denial of their equality of rights with men is fundamentally unjust and an affront to human dignity is nothing new. Yet discrimination continues. The legal position of a woman in many countries makes her a second-class citizen. The failure to raise living standards in most of the countries of the world also has a severe impact on women. Many professions and occupations are still denied to women, as are the rights to equal pay and working conditions. Preference is often given to educating boys rather than girls. While in much of the world, several of these problems are eased, much more remains to be done, particularly in the rural areas of developing countries. As if living were not difficult enough and the day's meal hard won, machismo only serves to make things worse. Machismo, the Latin American male attitude of being the privileged ruler of the family. It is the excuse of the husband who beats his wife, makes her bear too many children, keeps a mistress in the next village, and his womenfolk toiling in the fields.
We work in the fields. Some people pasture the animals. Some plant potatoes, ochas, maize. Some of us have trades we can do. We can plow fields that are at rest in the rainy season. We can spin yarn, dig.
In ancient times, the Andean peoples had a great respect for their women, for they were the fountain of life.
I almost had a child while working in the field. We have our babies while we work. Few men say, "She's expecting a baby." People gossip when there are just one or two. Those with large families are very respected. That's how it always is. Those with large families can finish work more quickly. The fields need many people. 2 people can't finish quickly. A large family can divide up the work. But if we have too many children, we're unhappy. And then there's never enough food. The girls do household work. The boys, according to their age, go to school.
School is difficult for many Indian children, especially when the teacher does not speak their language.
Coca? Coca? Coca. 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 Orayata. Za.
Most girls will grow up to swell the number of the world's illiterates, the vast majority of whom are women.
A consecuencia de una enfermedad, ¿no es cierto? A pesar de eso, uno se ha ido a La Paz. Tenemos 30 alumnos. Los 30 alumnos tienen que estar aquí, presentes. Ahora, como de costumbre.
How many years do you think children should stay in school? It depends on the child. If they've learned a little, they head for La Paz to get work and to get clothes. That's all they think about. We put the boys in school for about 5 years.
Even without education, women run the household, barter their produce in the market, or offer their labor shucking corn in return for dried fish. It is a harsh life. For relief, some turn to the church, to magic, others to alcohol. The church, magic, and alcohol are all part of the fiesta day, when music and celebration replaces hard work and drudgery.
How can you rush us right now? He's getting bigger. It takes more time to get him ready to go out. I'll come later. You go on. We can't come right now.
Acá, como no está,
Papacito, I'm old now and decrepit. You've still got a lot of life in you. You're young. You're not worn out yet. You can still use your big one. You have a long reach. Women soon get used to your kind. One takes this, and it's an abortive. The woman aborts the fetus. After this, it feels very hot when taken. Then she loses the fetus, and then hemorrhages. Can she have more children? It depends on the woman. Some abort once and have no more children. Others continue having children, but are more inclined to get cancer of the womb. Then the woman has to die.
One shouldn't fear pregnancy. Some people can have an abortion up to the last month, or they can suffocate the child and bury it. After that, hail often comes. This makes the people call her to account. Which of you have done this, they ask. It is bad for the crops, for the entire countryside. What can the mothers do? We have to have children. My last baby boy died. 2 boys died. I've cried for those children a great deal. Yesterday, too, they buried one. They say the carpenter killed his wife. I have only one son, so my husband wants to kill me. That's what he says, even though I'm humble. Now my son Tomas doesn't want me to live in our house. I'm going to go and die. Who cares?
Between the coast of mainland China and Hong Kong are a number of small islands which serve as a home for farming communities and safe anchorage for fishing junks. But 20th century technology is bringing changes. Waters close to the islands are being overfished, profits are meager, and thoughts of an easier life have had to be postponed. Fishing is undertaken at any suitable time or place, and family life ordered accordingly.
Is it hard to look after kids? Quite. How many go to school? 1. A boy? Yes. Which class is he in school? First year. He isn't learning anything. He only wants to play. He's only a child. Do you want to send him on to secondary school? He's still too young and shy. The girls don't study? What about the younger ones? They're too young. When they grow up, they have to work. One of them works. What can she do? She's so young. Sewing and such things. She does what she knows. Would it help if she knew how to read? Of course it would help. If we knew how to read, we'd know the numbers of the buses and boats. If we didn't know how to read, we couldn't go out. No matter where you go, you'd know what to do. I'd like to go ashore. But Papa would be short of hands. I have one brother and 4 sisters. If I wanted to leave, Papa wouldn't stop me. But I have no wish to leave right now. My boyfriend and I haven't decided when to get married. Where is your boyfriend? Can you leave out that question?
The government hospital ship is a meeting place for island residents and fishing people from the junks. Older people still remember less happy times and other kinds of boats.
In the past, we were scared to death. We were fugitives then. There were gunboats in the East Bay. The policemen on the gunboats had guns and cannons. It's the truth. I'm not exaggerating. When we fled during the war, you weren't even born.
The Hong Kong government provides funds for roads and public works, but these cover mainly material costs. It is up to the islanders themselves to provide the labor, and that means the women. For most of the men are away, at sea or in the city. The lives of women both on and off the islands have changed dramatically. They now have full political rights, and some of the worst aspects of male domination have ended. Women's contributions to economic life are unchallenged and highly valued. They are more than mere producers of children.
Lần tới rồi. Mà ăn phô nó có chút đó. Lần tới tất cả mỗi cái trang trí thôi.
Các cô tìm gì có tìm đâu hả? Đi đâu mà công. Tất cả.
The women of Hong Kong have learned that economic well-being may involve controlling their fertility. Most of them know about family planning.
When the third one was born, I started precautionary measures. Then my husband went away to sea. He returned a year and a few months later. When he came back, we avoided impregnation by using pills. But when I take pills, after about 2 months, it becomes impractical. My stomach becomes unwell. My body can't stand it. The doctor told me to use the safety period method instead. I did, and after 4 months, I got pregnant with this daughter. Then I thought of having the oviduct blocking operation. After I gave birth to this daughter, I had it done. How many people here have had that operation? No others, only me. They don't want it. They think they will be unable to work if they have it. The doctor told me to rest for a few months. Then I began working again. And now I can carry heavy loads, as much as 170 pounds.
The women of these islands are no longer bound into servitude or destined to become concubines. They have won some sort of equality. Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan, and like so many cities in the developing world, its population grows daily with the arrival from the countryside of yet more people in search of the opportunities that the city appears to offer. But there are opportunities for men only. Women remain at home. Most important decisions are made by men. Urban overcrowding does not alarm everyone.
There's not any problem with the population, because our country is a big country and the land is big, but population, I think it's less than the land, you know, as I feel. And the people also, if they have more children, they will be happy. For instance, I met some people, families in Kandahar, in Herat, which they have 14 children, 12 children. My mother, she has about 7 children. They like. Of course, some places they don't like. In the modern places like Kabul, which they are educated and literated in these things, they don't like to have more children, you know. They want to have not more than 2. So for them it's all right. But in countryside, religious people and mullahs, they are, if they have more than 20 also, they will like. Because if you talk about the population problem, they will tell you, the mullahs, the religious people, or the countryside people, they will tell you that this is against of religion if you stop child, if you stop birth in these things. As I feel, as I talk with the people, with the mullahs. So this, God gives everything, you know. When God gives, what's the use of stopping the children?
Afghans live by growing crops such as wheat, cotton, and rice, and by rearing sheep. It was the tradition of Islam that brought Purdah to Afghanistan.
Some religious people do not send their daughters to school because they believe it opens their eyes too much. On the other hand, it is good to open boys' eyes. Some girls, of course, do go, but mostly it is only government officials and those who can afford it who send their girls to school. School is good for boys, but not for girls.
Women are traditionally regarded as inferior, part of a man's chattels. Their strictest duty is to obey and serve their husbands, and their happiest moment is when they bear a son. Economic power and freedom of all kinds are exclusively male. Even the food the women cook is bought by men. In cloistered, separate worlds, men deal with men, women with women. Even today in rural areas, a man may not look upon a woman, apart from his wife, unless she is either a child or past childbearing age. Social and economic exchanges between men and women are rare.
My young son, Hafiz, died recently. 5 of my children have died, 2 daughters and 3 sons. But I still have 6 children left who are like brothers and sisters to me. Our people say it is good to have lots of children, and that it is a sin to take medicine against having them. While children live, they are a joy for this world, and if any should die, they will wait for us in the next world. In heaven, they will bring us water from the sacred pool, and they will stand at the doors of hell to protect their parents from it. If one has no children, the husband will take a second wife.
While women stay together in small domestic groups, men gather in large crowds for traditional sports like wrestling. Until puberty, a girl may mix with her brothers. Thereafter, she has to avert her eyes from the male world. Buzgashi is the national sport of Afghanistan. A goat carcass, stuffed with sawdust, is pummeled and fought over by horsemen. Afghan men shelter their women from grueling physical toil in the fields. But within their private world, women are expected to labor. Though life appears to have changed little in the countryside, new ideas, however hesitantly, are finding their ways into the city.
Myself, I don't want to have more than 2 children. I have only one, but I will try to have more, maybe one more. That will be enough for me.
Does your wife feel the same way?
I don't know. I will ask her.
A village of the Baran people near the Ethiopian border. The Baran are herdsmen. The traditional situation of the women by the fireside remains. But they also control the vital process of milking the cows. Women regulate the time a calf is allowed to suckle and take charge of the allocation of milk to guests. In this part of Baran life, the men are normally onlookers. The country is green, but the cows haven't been calving. They know people are dependent on them, and yet they give no milk. But if somebody works for a salary in town, obviously he can buy food. Or if he has a farm, he can harvest his maize for food. When someone has a job, since he earns cash, he can be given credit. So he is in a better position to feed and clothe his family. But we depend solely on cattle, which become mere skeletons during the drought. These Baran women make a 6-mile trek for water each day. On arrival, a long way to the government water tank, a closely supervised facility in the semi-desert area. Women are also responsible for building, dismantling, and rebuilding houses when moving with their cattle in pursuit of better grass and water. Once the Boran lived with and for cattle, but now they are being encouraged to settle and grow crops such as maize.
Rajkotla. Kot vanilla si mirasan.
Long diri tu di sana bobbas male long yarti tudani kuta wana mbeo. Jibi charti buhun dub jibi chani je sabita. Jibi chani je sa idan sadi lena.
Orani serin jimbar.
The quiet life of the village soon loses its appeal for many youngsters. The older children, once they have been to school, tend to migrate to the towns.
The old ways of the Boran have made them weak. I have only this one grandchild now. My children were born in the Dark Ages, before schools. They had no way of learning about the world. If I'd gone to school, they would have learned. But now they think they know enough. They can look after their parents, but they're not good for much else. People told them, go to school, but they refused. But today, even big men who are circumcised go to school. Whether this boy learns or not is up to him. If he lives 2 more years, he'll go to school.
There's nothing wrong with children, even 30. We Boran want many. But the government says only 2 or 3. And these 2 or 3 are no trouble to feed. They're no trouble to clothe. A father can manage. They don't wear their mother out. She stays healthy. So it's better to have few. Now listen to me. It isn't better. The Boran have camels which need caring for. They have cattle which need caring for. They have calves which need caring for. Without all these children, even I would be herding cattle all day. Come to town for inoculations tomorrow.
Preventive medicine is just one element of change in northern Kenya. In the markets of the growing towns, Boran women can now buy foods new to them: tea, sugar and maize meal, metal pots and cloth. Other changes are affecting Boran women. Although marriages are still arranged, men now take fewer wives. Modern vehicles are appearing in the area for the first time as a new road is pushed through to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Demands for better living standards are improving the lot of women. But there are many new problems too, such as prostitution at the road camps and the confrontation between traditional and modern societies.
India sana. Iko moja mzee. Wapile mtoto. Moja mzee. Really one should.
That's it. Now you can play Masai all you like.
This is more artistic than that, but that's a nice one.
The women of this village, like women everywhere, live in a changing world.
Dia tak cantik lah pakai.